when Gretchen and I started the band, we just kind of established like, look, let's just agree that I want the very best for you, and that everything that I do is to further you as much as it is to further me. And so if I have to say something difficult, it's because I it might be difficult to hear, but know that at the core of it, I really do want what's best for you above even the band, right? So, as friends.
You are now listening to the podcast where authors inspire listeners to become authors, the Going North Podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer, best-selling author, and book enthusiast, Dom Brightman. And you're going to be listening to a different author that will inspire you to join the business of immortality, known as authorship. Now let the fun begin. Today's episode is sponsored by the GoingNorthPodcast.com shop. It is going to help you have northbound direction to your own success. If you want a great inspirational quote like advance others to advance yourself, or today a reader, tomorrow a leader, heck, even some puns like pile on and always fully booked on your tote bag, mug, hoodie, heck, even a t-shirt, and many, many other items, head over to GoingNorthPodcast.com, click on the shop tab, and cop yourself some merchandise indeed. And that's GoingNorthPodcast.com/shop. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the Going North Podcast, we got another super special, awesome human for you today, courtesy of one of the best websites on planet freaking Earth, known as Podmatch.com, the wonderful site where podcast guests get to connect with podcast hosts, and if they're cool, they're freaking in. And today's guest is cooler than two cucumbers indeed, because today's guest in particular, she's the best of both worlds, y'all, because she's not only a wonderful lady who puts pen to paper and is a published author, she's also a musician as well, a wonderful drummer that she is. So she embodies what the original podcast name was going to be, Mr. Music and Reads, because today's guest is a treat good enough to eat 5 times over. She's a lovely wife as well as a spiritual counselor, non-denominational minister, as well as the founder of Zepparella. That's right indeed, the wonderful Zepparella indeed. So let's give it up for the wonderful CM herself, the one and only Clementine Moss. How you doing today, Clementine?
I'm doing good. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, Dom.
I'm happy to have you indeed. I'm like, yeah, did the usual pre-sound test before I said yes to having you on the show. I'm like, yep, got that voice of an angel so darn calming. I'm like, yep, she is freaking on. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been listening to the podcast all day, so I really love your conversations.
Ah, that's right indeed. That means today's conversation is going to be extra loving.
It's all love, right?
That's right indeed. It's like being a beetle without being an actual beetle that gets squashed. It's all you need is love. That's right
That's
indeed.
right. That's right. That's right. Truer words. Yep.
But hey, it ain't about insects, it's about citrus fruit. So my goodness, my goodness. So since it's your first time on Going North, I probably forgot a whole bunch of stuff about you that the audience needs to know. So mind filling in folks on how you became the Clementine that you are today.
Oh gosh. Yeah, the story of Clem. Well, let's see. In a nutshell, I was born in California. I live in San Francisco. I am a rock and roll drummer. I started playing drums when I was 27 years old, and which was a series of circumstances. I went to school for writing and thought I was going to do that, and instead I got swept away into a life of music for the last 30 years. And February, I published a memoir called From Bonham to Buddha and Back, The Slow Enlightenment of the Hard Rock Drummer. And the book is about my life. It's about what it was like, what I was doing, how you find drums or music, the life of a musician at such a kind of late age. 27 seems late to a lot of people. And then it's also about my contemplative practice. I've been a meditator for the last 30 years as well. I kind of found meditation and drumming around the same time in my 20s. And, I started writing about how being a musician has a lot of great metaphor for contemplative practice, right? So we sit on the meditation mat and we open that wide awareness within us, where we can watch what rises and falls. And when I'm sitting on the drum throne, playing a rock and roll show, I'm trying to find that place as well, trying not to get distracted by all the things that could be distracting so that I can really allow the music to move through me, to play through me, and thus connect, with the audience and, the energy of the music. So I thought for a long time that I was doing two different things, and as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's all one thing. Our spiritual life is our normal life, it's all one thing. So I started writing about that, and that is the book, and that's why I'm here today. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Hashtag California made CM. That's right, indeed. The CM drummer herself. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed.
I've never been called CM. I really like it. I'm thinking of all of the ways I could brand it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, go on ahead. Like that was based that was a reference to CM Punk is well the CM stands for two things. There's one Chicago made since he's from Chicago, and then the
Uh-huh.
second one is chick magnet since apparently he's a ladies' man.
It's funny. Uh,
Yeah, punk rock and all that good stuff. So my goodness, my goodness. So, and the good news is, starting with drums at 27, it's like, all right, cool. She can dodge that 27 trap. Indeed, that's right. Indeed, that sadly some musicians fell victim to. Sadly, so hey, it all worked out. It sounds like.
It did. It worked out. It was kind of the a new birth, certainly of for me, of a new way of being in the world. One where I was, very much in the world rather than being in a room with a piece of paper and a pencil trying to figure out who I was and what I was doing. I think it was helpful for me in my life to do to work collaboratively, and that's what music really afforded me. And then I got to see the world and experience relationship of all kinds in my music career. And that really gave me something, I think I found something to write about. I found my voice. It's funny that you think about drums giving you a voice because people think of it as, a non-melodic instrument. And for me, the drums are something that it's like I've always heard stories in the drums. Words, when I am writing songs as a songwriter, words come out of the drum beats for me. So, yeah, I guess I could say that through drumming, I found my voice in many different ways.
Ah, heck yeah, indeed. Has ever played ceremonial drums, such a non-denominational?
Well, no, I mean, I use the drum. I'm a shamanic counselor, and I do a counseling model, practice a counseling model for people called depth hypnosis, which was created by a great teacher in Berkeley named Isa Gucciardi. And it's a counseling model that combines shamanic practice, Buddhism, and Western psychological method, Buddhist psychology. So we can use the drum to induce, a trance state, or at least to be able to give the mind something to focus on as we open up to our internal metaphor, right? That's what a shamanic journey is. We're closing our eyes, we're listening to the drums, and we're taking a journey within ourselves to connect with the different parts of ourselves in whatever form they're taking. Some people see animals, some people see spirits, some people see all kinds of things on a shamanic journey. And really what we're doing is we're we're quieting the conscious critical mind so we can open up the internal knowing that we all have. And, for me, I don't call myself a shaman because I think at this day and age, that word holds a lot of kind of misunderstanding of power. And my job as a depth hypnosis practitioner and applied shamanic counselor is to allow people to find their own power. And so that open awareness space that I find in the drum kit in meditation is the same space that I'm in when I'm helping people, where it's not Clementine who's the knower, Clementine who's the shaman, but more that I'm holding that wide awareness and that spaciousness for the for what maybe we would call spirit to come through and to empower the person that I'm working with for them to find their own truth, their own answers. So the drum for me is not just something that brings great joy and freedom and power. It also is it's like a window, it opens windows for us to walk through, to know ourselves, step into our power.
Ah, there you go. Step into your power indeed. Huh. So you don't want to confuse people by calling yourself a shaman. You can call yourself the Shaman of Citrus or the Citrus Shaman.
Well, I am from Orange County, California, and my hair is orange. So I have a lot of the orange. And I do actually look kind of good in orange when I wear orange. So I have to say, orange is something in my life, right? They say, when they talk about the meanings of the different colors, right? Orange is always, it's always kind of a strong, can go a lot of ways for people. So I like the orange. I think it's happy.
There you go. You bring happiness to folks. That's what I'm talking about. Like, hey, that's missed opportunity right there. That can be like a rogue album maybe one day if you
Mm.
decide to have Zepparella do it. It's like, yeah, call the album. That's right, Queen of the Citrus or the Shaman of Citrus. That's right, indeed. Random fruits of song titles for no reason.
Would it all have to be citrus fruit? So we would have one song called like Tangelo Tango or Nectarine of the Night or
Oh, there we go.
yeah,
Nectarine of the
there you
Night. There you go. Oh, so we masterminded now. There we go. I've been thinking of something now. That's what I'm talking about. That's right, indeed.
The ruby grapefruit of my heart.
See, all right. See, you got 3 tracks already, and the
I know.
song names are getting better.
They just comes to me. It's just I just can't stop these ideas. They just keep coming.
There you go. That's right, indeed. Maybe sour lemon swag. That's right, indeed. There's
Oh,
the
there
days
you
when you're
go.
feeling sour,
There you go. You
or
got it.
sour by the hour.
Now that I like.
Yeah,
That's
that's right,
funny.
indeed. They're like, hey, we're no longer a cover band, y'all. We're going rogue. We're making our own album. It was the drummer's idea this time. All that banging was for good. Just banging out ideas.
I think they might commit me if I came in to tell them that we were doing a citrus album. I think they would say, Clem, like that whole thing about you being the band leader, like I think maybe we're gonna find another way to go. She's finally lost it. She's finally hit herself in the head too many times with the drumstick.
And then probably hit him with the David Ruff and be like, ain't nobody come to see y'all. Let me stop.
That's funny.
That's what I'm talking about. So my goodness, so being able to combine your love of really just tapping into your spiritual goodness, spiritual side, and the meditation, and then rocking out to some good old Led Zeppelin. So what led to the start of the band after picking up the drums at the age of 27?
Yeah, I wanted to learn, the drum parts. Led Zeppelin was one of my favorite bands growing up, and John Bonham. When I started playing drums, I was like, oh, that's why I liked Led Zeppelin. I had been listening as a non-musician and didn't really put it together. So when I started playing drums, I think because I had just ingested the music so much growing up, I think that it all kind of naturally fit the way I played a little bit. I mean, I'll never beat John Bonham. He's like the greatest rock and roll drummer, but I can kind of step into that feeling that I had when I was growing up of just the power and the wonderfulness of the music, and try to convey that love that I had for it when I play. Try to emulate that, at least, even if my kick drum pedal doesn't work the way his did. So, I said I'd like to, start a band doing that. And my guitarist, Gretchen Menn, said, I'm in. I want to learn Jimmy Page's stuff. So that was about 20 years ago, 2004. So 19 years ago. And we've just been going ever since. Yeah, it's a wonderful band because we have people who come and see us quite often. We have this wonderful like family of people who come to many shows and have really been with us for a long time. I mean, there are fans of Zepparella who were coming to the band that Gretchen and I were in even before Zepparella, which is an AC/DC band. And so, that's a 20-year relationship with people that we see when we play, and on social media. So I really love that. I love feeling like we've created a kind of community. And I still really love playing the music. Zeppelin's music gives us an opportunity to improvise. So we kind of become a band within a band, right? And that's why we've been able to do it for so long. I think if we were just learning songs, playing them exactly the same every single time, I think it would probably get tiring. But these songs, you can keep diving into them over and over and over many years, and find new, fresh ways to do it. So it's been a great journey. And along with Zepparella, like I said, I am a songwriter and work on being a front person, and I love writing songs. So I figured out a few years ago I have to figure out how to sing if I'm going to do that. So I've been working on that, but I really really love standing at the front of the stage too, and performing, and I'm really happy when I get to do that too. So
Ah, me like you. So my goodness, so basically 19 years, almost 20. So that means on the 21st year, you need to release this fruit album. That's right, indeed. Yeah. It's like we're 21 years doing this band, y'all. We can finally drink. So new album, y'all. That's right.
yeah, I wonder how well that would. Well, I mean, we could do the Lemon song, right? I mean, that is a Zeppelin song, which we do, and we have recorded that one. So there you go. I think that's probably as far as we're gonna get with the citrus theme, at least in Zepparella.
The mind control will kick in eventually. That's right, indeed. It should be like, yeah, so we're a crazy podcast host is like, yeah, 21's the drinking age, and we're 21 years as a band. So it's like, yeah, we decided to start drinking extra, and we came with a new album, y'all. We were under the impression of moss. Isn't that usually grass? Don't worry about it. It's moss now. It's on a tree. Is it the actual tree? Don't worry about it. Just go with it. It's provocative. Gets them going.
It's very silly.
Hey, well, the good news is I didn't bring the propeller hat. So my goodness, so speaking of propelling, like a 20-year music journey, like my goodness. So what are probably your three biggest lessons learned from being a band that freaking long and still going, no less, because it's a like music itself is a hard gig, especially being a cover band too, because it's like sometimes you may enjoy the cover better than the originals.
Yeah, how does it keep going? Well, let's see. Well, one thing is, Zepparella is made up of all women, and women have a way of communicating, I think, that is a little bit different than the way men communicate. So it's been very helpful to think about always just speaking very clearly from kindness. And, when Gretchen and I started the band, we just kind of established like, look, let's just agree that I want the very best for you and that everything that I do is to further you as much as it is to further me. And so if I have to say something difficult, it's because I it might be difficult to hear, but know that at the core of it, I really do want what's best for you above even the band, right? So, as friends. And we've managed to go through this journey together with very few, we've never had a major dust up, we've had little like kind of stuff, when we're tired and traveling. But other than that, we've never had a big argument or blowout. And I think it is because I trust her. I trust that she really does have my back. She wants what's best for me. And if she tells me that I'm playing something wrong or that I sped something up or I messed something up and she was, it bummed her out, then I know she's not saying that because she doesn't like me or she's mean or she wants, herself to shine more than me. It's because she wants me to succeed. And I think when you have a relationship like that with people, I've tried to be that way in the band with the other members, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. And, we're all human. And I felt like I tried my best to support the people that I played with. And I think that feeling of support that the four of us have on stage, which I do love these girls as sisters, and we have a very loving relationship in the band. I think that translates out to the audience. And I think people end up feeling positive when they leave, not only because they're listening to their favorite songs, but also because they're in a field of positive energy. It sounds very woo woo, but I think you can tell when people really are enjoying being with people, with, the bandmates. So that's one thing I think, one reason that I think Zepparella has been successful is because we really do come from a positive place. So that's one thing. It is, being a musician is hard because like I said, sometimes I get 3 hours of sleep. I'm the driver, so I drive. I can drive 12 hours and get off the stage and have to play 2 hours of Led Zeppelin and then pack up the gear and load up the van and drive everybody to the hotel. And it's grueling. And, of course, in that, I can behave badly, I can be grouchy. I can be grouchy and irritable and not friendly, and and I don't like it when that happens, and I do my best to keep myself kind of even through the day so that I don't have big mood things. But I try my best, and that's where meditation has come in to help in this line of work, because I spend time opening to that part of me that is never fatigued, that is never irritated, that doesn't believe that I'm this separate being that needs to be constantly defended. I get to let go in that space of awareness within me where I can connect with that purity, that energy of just evenness, and try to bring that into my interactions with people. So again, I think that that's why a music career is kind of a great testing ground for all of this stuff that we're doing to make ourselves calm, make ourselves even, find our way to really be like love ourselves as much as other people, to be able to open to compassion, to feel ourselves not having to be so defensive all the time. That's really where a lot of friction happens. And then I see it in, in this difficult, line of work that I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude. So hashtag compassionate Clem. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. 'Cause, yeah, communication is definitely huge, and heck, like that is probably one of the best things ever. It's like whenever you're out and about, whether it's like a music concert, like even just going to somebody's public building where you see colleagues working, they're actually enjoying being around each other. It's like it's a wonderful thing and a great thing to see. Cause it's like, all right, cool. It's like, I got to come back and see this and be in that energy. Indeed, that's right. Indeed, got to feel all the woo woo. That's right. Indeed, so
Yeah.
much woo woo, you feel like Ric Flair.
Yeah, yeah. And still be able to kind of stand your ground and be like, that's not okay. That's not all right. This is what I need. This is what you said you were going to do. And, so there's a lot of boundary setting and a lot of, real world application of, standing up for yourself. And I'm the band manager, right? So I'm not standing up for just myself. I'm standing up for the women in my band. And, there's can get it can get tricky, but if you approach everything with a feeling that people do want to do their best, that they're doing their best. And I could say that, when you think about, like, a sound person who maybe isn't quite up to speed and makes your life difficult on stage, and as I'm playing, I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, oh, this person, like, is not doing me justice coming out of the monitor. But to realize, oh, that person, he really does want to do a good job. He's trying, he's doing his best, or just he's just tired of his job. He shouldn't be doing his job anymore. He's, whatever it is, and just seeing it with compassion, not taking it personally, really. I think, it makes it so that I don't spend too much time in a kind of stress that's so fatiguing I would not be able to do what I'm doing.
Yep, I hear you. I hear you indeed. Because if the sound guy is tired or not on his P's and Q's,
Yeah,
it's a bad experience for everybody.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Be like Ja Rule at that basketball game. It's like, are you ready? And then nobody responded. And he's like, I nobody ready. Like, I guess not. He already.
Oh my gosh.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed. But hey, so my goodness, of being a band manager too. So I guess that means leadership expertise under your belt too. That's right
Gosh,
indeed.
as a musician, you got to be everything, right? I have to be, social media expert. I have to be, accountant. I have to be promoter. I have to be the artistic director. It's like all of these jobs that are, you know, I remember I was on the road for a year in the year 2000, and just kind of lived in the van. And we played every night a different show with two other women in a band. And when I got off the road and I settled in San Francisco, and I was like, okay, I need to get a day job, until we tour again. And I got a temp job in a law firm. And I remember going in, and we needed paper to the printer. So I went and I picked up the ream of paper and I was carrying it over. And all of the people in the office were like, oh, no, no. Call someone to do that. Don't lift that piece of paper. Or don't lift that box of paper. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like, other people don't have to lift things. Like, they don't have to carry things around. They I've been carrying this like 8 by 10 bass cabinet around. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, everything seems so easy to me. Like, I have one job, like, just one job. There's not 14 jobs. There's one job that I'm doing. It seemed like real life seemed so much easier to me.
Yeah, there you go. Until it makes you probably lazy, depending on where you are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't certainly didn't choose it. I guess I choose the more difficult. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about indeed. Well, speaking of difficulty, I'm pretty sure there've been a bunch of setbacks along the way. So, has there been a particular setback that actually was a setup for your success?
Well, honestly, I think the biggest setback that I've experienced is the one of internal negative voice telling me that I shouldn't do things, that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't deserve things, that I needed to put myself last. And I've struggled with that my whole life, and it still rears its head from time to time. And again, I hate to say that I appreciate it, or that I feel like it was a gift in a way to have such a, kind of this terrible thing that I was struggling with within myself, because I hate to say that and go down the road of saying that we get all of our challenges, we choose them, or and we get to learn from them, because I don't think that does a lot of people who really suffer a lot of justice. But at this point, I am grateful for the struggles, the mental struggles that I went through in my life, because it did bring me to want to figure it out. And that brought me to meditation. It brought me to psychology. It brought me to self investigation in all of these different ways. And it was very painful at times to struggle with that internal negativity. But now I can say that if I hadn't had that, I don't know that I would have fought so hard to do what I wanted to do in my life. And and so the challenges in my life, I've been very fortunate. I have a loving family, loving friends, talent at music and writing, and I don't take that for granted, all of those things. But I think that when I look at the big challenge, it was within myself. It was overcoming, my own, the limitations I set on myself. And I'm very happy that I have tools now when those things rise to help, and I keep working on it. I don't know that the voices will ever go away, but I have every day I change my relationship to them even more and more. So yeah.
There you go. So indeed, that evil voice sometimes is like, oh, that good old imposter coming out of nowhere, like, hey, buddy, you know you're me, as in you know you can't do it. Like, come on,
Yeah.
join the mediocrity bucket. Come on, join us with the rest of the crabs. Come on, our claws are sharp. Don't worry,
It's
they won't hurt. You
hard.
got a hard shell, buddy.
It's really difficult, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think that we all have that sense of just not being good enough, not being good. And I'm happy that people talk about it more and more, and have so many tools. I mean, you offer in your podcast, you offer so many tools for people to work through those things.
Heck yeah, that's right indeed. And now we got Clem the Builder making her appearance with her tools. Who needs Bob, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, brother.
So my goodness, so is any other tools in addition to the magic of meditation that helps Clem stay Clem and not Clint?
Yeah, well, the more that I open up the space of feeling like I'm okay, right? And within me, hear the voices that tell me that I'm not. And then all the tools that I use to both just witness those voices. And then I've done some practices of figuring out like why I feel why I feel I'm not worthy of kind of unconditional love, right? And there's some beautiful Tibetan meditation practices that I've done to kind of recognize that and figure those things out. The beautiful thing to me is that when that happens and I become so compassionate to myself as I learn to appreciate myself, to love myself, to think that I am worthy of being here and doing, the Clem thing, my heart seems to open wider and wider so that I can kind of see into everybody I meet that spacious awareness within them and realize that, you know, I think it's so valuable to, if I'm worthy, ultimately, then so is everybody else worthy. And, even somebody who is doing terrible behavior, right? The worst kind of behavior, I think looking at them and being able to see that part of themselves that, somewhere is yearning to know that within themselves, I think it opens up a kind of relation to the world, to other people, that, to be real woo woo is, it opens up a kind of energy, a path of positive energy, that finds its way to figure out solutions to problems, finds its way to understand why somebody behaves badly and what can be done to help stop things even before it begins. Like, what are people looking for? Why have they moved so far away from that part of themselves that believes that they're worthy and of value? And so, I guess that's a big conversation, but for me, the more compassionate I can be to those around me, the more I can feel like I'm able to let the insults, the fear, the reactions to things in people, and really just try to meet people in that other field, then I don't become so important anymore, other than just as a kind of beacon or light of something that I want to propagate in the world. I don't know. That sounds, I did hear myself say all that, and it sounds real corny, but it feels very important for me to think about my impact on every single person I meet. I think it's to, the more I work to let down the resistance to letting people see who I really am, let down all of the walls that I put to loving both myself and loving others, just break apart the mask that I need to prop up and defend. It's like my heart opens more, and hopefully that vibrational energy does something. And I say that because, so much of my time I can beat myself up for not doing more to help. And sometimes I just have to stop and think, I'm going to try to do what I know how to do, and be authentic.
Ain't nothing wrong with authenticity. That's right, indeed. And besides, if you feel like you're saying something corny, that just means the mind control is working. That's right, indeed.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot. You told me.
Yeah, I told you it was a danger zone. I
Danger
didn't
zone.
even.
Danger.
Yes,
Yeah, I did it to myself. You didn't even do it. I did it to myself.
exactly. I didn't even need to press the button for the trap door. You found it yourself.
I
It's like, all right.
I think I was born in the trapdoor.
Don't worry. That just means whoever falls in it with you is going to be nice and healthy. They're going to have plenty of clementines.
Vitamin C, baby, vitamin C.
There you go. That's right, indeed. She's a vitamin C for your ears, y'all. That's right, indeed. Hashtag Zepparella. Vitamin C for your ears. That's right, indeed. She's got the ear sugar for you, too. Nice and sweet.
That's right.
That's right, indeed. I think that's definitely good, though. So, my goodness. So, with some of these good old meditation techniques, did you learn? Well, then again, being in California, I mean, it's kind of default. Yeah, you're going to get some spiritual woo-woo-ness in you. Has there been some world traveling that led to some of the meditation discoveries as well for you, too?
Mm, I wouldn't say world traveling. I mean, I'm started studying meditation with the Vipassana technique, and if you go to Dhamma, DHAMMA.org, there's an organization that hosts 10-day silent meditation retreats around the world. And these are donation only retreats. And you go and take a vow of silence, and everything is taken care of for you. You're fed and housed and taught the Vipassana meditation technique, which is a beautiful technique because it's just purely a technique to focus your mind and be able to open up that inner awareness. There's no, it's non-denominational, I guess is what I would say, although it is a Buddhist technique. So that was how I started studying, and I've done that meditation practice for 30 years. A few years ago, I started experimenting with some mantra meditation with a great teacher named Ishtar Howell. And this mantra meditation technique is called Ascension. And it was a really wonderful exploration. It kind of made that inner awareness a little more alive, I guess that's how I would explain it. It's an internal mantra. And that was really beautiful. And I actually went in January, I went to India for 3 weeks to a meditation course that he was teaching and a teacher training. I wasn't training to be a teacher, but he let me come and sit in on the meditations. So I did that in January, and that was a really beautiful experience. I got to be in Tiruvannamalai, which is where the Ramana Maharshi ashram is, and so I got to go and sit in the chanting every morning there, which was really beautiful. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I feel like my meditation mat just goes wherever I go. That's been the extent of the travel, really. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Wherever the mat goes, she goes. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. The M&M, y'all. That's right indeed. So, I mean, she's got the candy too. Hashtag candy Clem, y'all. Stop.
Damn, you're too much.
Well, hey, you reached out, you wanted some of it, so hey, welcome to the danger zone.
I know. I know. I did it to myself. I know. No, it's a
It's like you think
delight.
it's right back at you. Two delightful folks having a conversation indeed. And speaking of delightful conversations, you've had quite a few of them across the webs or via these magical podcasts. Was there a question that you wish folks would ask you more often when you're on the guest side of the microphone?
Hmm. I don't think so. I really love speaking about the spiritual counseling method, depth hypnosis. It really is, and I haven't talked that much about that, but it helps people with, early childhood trauma or any trauma really, and anxiety, depression, those kind of, issues. But it also is just a really beautiful way to connect to your own power. We don't realize how much we've given away our power to things and ideas and people throughout our lives. And a lot of times we do that when we're small children because we're trying to survive. So we're giving our power away from to our caretakers, or, unfortunately, sometimes, that power is taken from us in different situations. And when you start to see power as not an external force, but a way of being completely like connected to your own life force, your own life energy. And when you start working on retrieving those, when we do a soul retrieval, a power retrieval, it sounds real woo woo, but really what it is taking back our power from situations and times and ideas that we were giving ourselves away to. And when we start retrieving all of that stuff and bringing it back, then we're able to be more compassionate, more open hearted in the world because we don't feel in danger of having things taken from us. When we really connect to that power within ourselves, then boundaries are very easy. We don't need to feel like, for so many years, whenever I had to tell somebody no, I had to pull up this like feeling in me of anger or like frustration or something to be able to and I would worry about having to say no or worry about having to set a boundary. Now it just feels easy, like that's just not, doesn't feel aligned with this way that I feel, and it doesn't have anything to do with an external force I need to set. It's just an easy boundary. So I think that the modality is stunningly beautiful. And the Sacred Stream, sacredstream.org, has many courses in the shamanic journey and in those more what seems very esoteric, but is actually found kind of works on the foundation of how to be in the world, how to be in relationship, how to understand ourselves. And so I recommend anybody who's interested in that kind of thing to go to sacredstream.org and check out their offerings, because they offer many things for not that much money that can really be eye-opening. So thank you for letting me say that, because I do wish I could talk about that a little more.
Oh, well, good. Good. My pleasure indeed. Because, hey, that's the name of the game. Name of the game. Want you to share all the goodies that you have to offer, indeed, especially the spiritual stuff. Because, hey, a lot of folks need it. A lot of folks need, especially nowadays where things seem to be topsy turvy and over under. And then you just wake up and it's like you're on your side, and then you wake up and you see a random lettuce next to you, and it's like, what the heck? It's like, where does lettuce come from? Is this the thing saying, let us pray? Is that what this is? What is going on?
Oh, the dad jokes. Oh, the dad jokes. Oh, they just keep coming. They keep coming.
Heck, if you want, we could probably do a part two, have you a whole hour of your spiritual counseling experience. That's right,
Oh,
indeed. That's right, indeed.
wonderful. Wonderful. I'd love it.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah, indeed. That's right, indeed. You're always welcome back here. Heck, speaking of dad jokes and fun question for you. So, if your fabulous book, I guess we could probably add another word to this one since boundaries popped up, from Bonham to Buddha and back. And then the follow-up book we'll talk about from Bonham to Buddha to freaking boundaries. Anyways, if that wonderful book was a food, what would it be and why?
If it was a food?
Yeah, if your book were a food.
If my book were a food, well, I mean, I have to go with the citrus bent, right? I mean, it would have to be a clementine, right? It's about clementine, and clementine is the sweetest of the citrus fruits, and it's small but very flavorful. So, yeah, I think I would have, and it has an orange cover. So, there you go. I think that it would be a clementine. You knew I was going to say that, though, didn't you?
Yep, I had a feeling, but hey, better than you saying grapefruits. I'll take that one. That's right, indeed. Those things would be sour. It's like, the branding's off. It was a lie. She's really grapefruit moss. That's right, indeed. Or that's her evil twin, grapefruit moss. Watch out for her. That's right, indeed. She's a hip hop artist. She doesn't do rock music. That's right, indeed. She doesn't cover Led Zeppelin. She covers Jay-Z. That's right, indeed. She's in a hip hop band called Grape Z. Instead of Jehovah, it's Greyhova.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if there is a grapefruit moss out there, I don't know about them. I do not claim them at all because I don't want to be a spouse for anything they do. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Even though hip hop is really freaking good. That's right, indeed. That's
It
right,
is.
indeed.
When I started playing drums, I wanted to be a hip hop drummer.
Ooh.
I was listening to a lot of hip hop at the time, and then, but as soon as I started learning how to play drums, like drums went out of hip hop. They didn't have live drummers anymore, so I kind of missed the boat on that. But I love those beats.
Ah, I knew I was a fan of you for a reason. That's right, indeed. Okay, so maybe she is. So maybe I'm talking to Grapefruit Moss after all. All right, that's probably what it is. She's really grapefruit. Clementine is somewhere else playing on tour. All right. She's her evil twin.
It's all an illusion.
That's right, indeed. She told me her hair is orange, but it's really red to me on this camera. She's like, "Yeah, got him fooled." Thinks he's seeing orange. It's really pink. There's a reason why there's pink on the cover too with the orange.
Yeah, there is. There is. You're right. You're right. Pink grapefruit. There you go. Although that one's sweet. It's not so sour. So
Yeah, there we go. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Well, before we go any deeper into that rabbit hole, we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And that is if you'll wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but you're still in the current year, what advice would you give to yourself?
to my 25-year-old self in right now,
Yep, you wake up as a Gen Zer.
hmm I would say try to figure out how to buy some property. So you won't be poor and destitute when you get to be this age. I guess that's what I would say. And if I were going to really say something, I would say get yourself to therapy. Get yourself to therapy. Go start figuring out who you are, what you're all about, what you love. Let go of the things that hold you back and really just find joy. Don't listen to what you're supposed to do. Just find joy. Go where your enthusiasm takes you. Life's too short not to explore those things.
Ah, there you go. Go where enthusiasm takes you. That's right indeed. Explore your enthusiasm. That's right indeed. Because we all know enthusiasm is all about the God within. We all got some God power within us, y'all. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Lowercase g for the Christians, y'all. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Folks can really tap into that power. That's right indeed. Maybe even be the best fruit ever. That's right indeed.
Mm.
Maybe tap into your inner wonderful plum instead of a grapefruit, instead of a wonderful clementine. That's right indeed. It's like Clementine Moss got the clementines cover. I'll just be the plums. And then that means I'll be doing all the pleasing. As Les Brown would say, the plum pleasing pleasure. That's right
Well, then
indeed.
become a prune.
Ah, you read my mind because that was always going to come out of my mouth. I'm like, wait, my fruit lexicon went freaking blank for a second. Oh, plum, there we go. There it is. That's a good one. Yeah, yeah, I almost said prune. That would have been bad. Like, no one wants to be one of those. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Be a cantaloupe
Hey.
instead. That's right indeed. If marriage is your goal, don't be a cantaloupe though, because that means you can't elope.
Can't elope. You can't elope.
Well, before random watermelon and a peach tries to join the conversation, folks need to keep up with all the stuff that you're doing. So, for those of you to do just that, what's the best way for folks to do so?
You can go to clemthegreat.com. That's got everything, all the music, all the spiritual counseling, the book, which is on Amazon and now Audible for those who listen to books, not read. I know, I'm very excited. That just happened. I like your dance.
Love your voice. I'm glad you're reading your book. It's one of my favorite things ever. When authors got good voices, they need to read their own books, dang it. Certainty, especially if it's nonfiction and memoir esque. It's like, hey, it's got to be you. Certainty, you can't be having some stranger read it. It's like, oh, they can still do a great job, but it's like it's not the author.
Yeah, I know. I love hearing an author read their book. I love it.
Woohoo! Well, there you go, folks. Miss CTG herself, Clementine the Great, aka Clem the Great. aka not grapefruit moss. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Coming to a local drum near you. She'll zap her way to a town near you with the rest of her band. That's right indeed. The Zepparella. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Zepparella swag with the mighty Z. It'll be from A to Zepparella. That's right indeed. All the other alphabet letters have to take a break. That's right indeed. It's about the Z. We starting in that good old descending order, starting from the Z, because that's what the Z is all about. That's right indeed. So before the random vitamin Z appears in their ears, any parting words before we close up shop, Clem?
No, thank you, Dom. Thank you. You're a wonderful, wonderful interviewer, and I had a great time. Thank you.
If you're hearing this part of the episode, that means you're one cool individual. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and if you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to share it with at least one other person in your network. Bonus points for 3. And be sure to check out the backlog too while you're at it, because there are hundreds of wonderful episodes to choose from as well.